Good morning. I'm Curt Goering, Executive Director. First of all, thank you, Reem, so much for sharing your experience with us, for telling us the story of Jana, and through your story, bringing voice to the many, many Syrian children who have endured what you have so eloquently described. And I'm so grateful that when survivors arrive at our center in Amman, Jordan, that they find you there to welcome them and to care for them. Thank you, Reem. And welcome to all of you. I mean, this is amazing. This is incredible, this crowd so early in the morning. You know, the colleagues that we have from out of town, they don't believe us when we say we have an event like this early in the morning. But there are some of them with us today, so now they can see for themselves. I'm so pleased that all of you have joined us this morning, especially on the occasion to mark our 30th anniversary. This anniversary is a time to reflect on where we came from and where we're going. It's a time to celebrate the vision of our founder, Governor Rudy Perpich, and leaders in the health services, the human services, the religious leaders, human rights leaders, who spearheaded this organization they called the Center for Victims of Torture. Starting slowly, first at St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center, then a small house on the University of Minnesota campus, then a larger house on campus, then a healing center in St. Paul, and now a global headquarters also in St. Paul. CVT continues to grow. It's also a time to celebrate the leadership and the support of Vice President Mondale. CVT would not exist with the courage and the vision of leaders like you, who recognize the responsibility we have as American citizens and as citizens of the world to confront and end human rights abuses wherever they happen. And your leadership, Mr. Vice President, has been instrumental to CVT throughout our history. Thank you. And it's also a time to celebrate partners like you, who have helped CVT grow into the largest organization of its kind in the world. And that CVT was founded here, sank roots here, blossomed here. This is not a coincidence. It says something profound. In fact, it says something very profound about the values of the community, values of human rights, values of caring, values of sharing. And all of you here are an important part of that long and that strong tradition. And we're honored to have several people here who have been donors to CVT every year, every single year since its founding in 1985. And I'm going to ask that group of donors to please stand. You're here. Yeah. Thank you for your extraordinary and your generous commitment. Today, CVT has become an increasingly global organization, rebuilding the lives and restoring the hope of survivors here in Minnesota, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, and Jordan. Today, CVT builds capacity of 38 colleague centers around the country and 9 centers in 9 other countries on 4 continents. Today, CVT works in Washington to create federal funds to sustain torture survivor centers worldwide. And because of our work, the U.S. is the largest international contributor to torture survivor rehabilitation. Today, CVT engages its unique voice to work for reform, transparency, and accountability for the torture the the United States itself committed post 9/11. And today, each year, through direct services, capacity building, and policy advocacy that generates the federal funds, CVT touches the lives of 50,000 torture survivors and over 100,000 family members. Yes, in our 30th anniversary year, I think we have so much to commemorate, even celebrate, and I believe Governor Perpich would have been proud. But anniversaries are not just about the past or about the present. Anniversaries are also about the future. And there is so much more we have to do. The need for our work is growing. Here in the Twin Cities, the waiting list is 6 months long. For a survivor, that's 6 months of physical pain, 6 months of anxiety and depression, 6 months of nightmares in which their torturers visit them night after night, 6 months of thinking about suicide, 6 months with only the hope that one day we'll be able to help. We must do more, and the world must do more. Every day we're confronted by these searing images of refugees pouring out of the Middle East, hundreds of thousands of them, and among them, countless torture survivors. I just returned yesterday from the annual meeting of the Clinton Global Initiative in New York. We've been given a complimentary membership there in recognition of our work with Syrian survivors in Jordan. And at that meeting, I promised that we would do more, and we will do more. Not long ago, I visited our project in Jordan, where in addition to Syrian survivors, we're also starting to see more Iraqis again, including some who were tortured by ISIS. One survivor, and I'll call him Ahmed, showed me graphic photos of a body that was lying on a table with wounds and bruises all over it. At first, I thought I was looking at a corpse in a morgue. That is, until he told me that corpse was his. CVT brought me back from the brink of death, he said. People like Ahmed are the reason I'm here today. People like Ahmed are the reason you are here today. And people like Ahmed are the reason this organization, CVT, exists. So as we look at the present and the future, these are the times when your support is more important than ever. CVT depends upon contributions of unrestricted funds to carry out our life-changing and our life-saving work here in the Twin Cities, as well as Africa and the Middle East. And right now, we're facing a funding gap. And right now, that gap is about $1.6 million. It's the amount that we have to raise between now and the end of the year in order to ensure we balance our budget and prepare for 2016. At the end of our time together this morning, you'll be asked to consider a contribution. This morning, we hope to close that gap by $400,000. So as you watch the video that we're going to show in a few minutes, and as you listen to John Mahway's remarkable story of survival, and as you reflect on Reem's story and Jana's story, I hope you think about how your gift, combined with the gifts of everyone else in this room, and the 10,000 people across the country in every state who support our work, how your gift will make a difference, a world of difference, in the lives of people who suffered in ways we can scarcely imagine. Thank you for being our partners in healing. Thank you for helping rebuild lives and restore hope. Thank you for your generosity and your compassion.